It's Friday Night Comics. Welcome to Friday Night Comics. Where you are, it might be Saturday morning, it might be late Friday afternoon, might be we cover the globe sometimes, so we get all over the place. But right now, where I am at least, it's Friday Night Comics, and where SAW headquarters is. So this is the We Believe in Comics Friday Night Workshops at Sequential Artists Workshop. SAW is a 501c3 nonprofit, so we are a nonprofit that survives on donations and things like that, and we will tell you more about that. But we also have courses that you can find those at learn.sawcomics.org. For instance, we have a new diary comics weekly meetup that's happening. That's just started 2 weeks ago. You can find that at learn.sawcomics.org. Next week in this slot, we're going to have Maya Scarpa and Beatrix Lockwood from the Washington Post talking about dream jobs. That's going to be fun. And oh, I forgot. There we go. And today we're initiating CCAW. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Celebrating some graduates of CCA, the California College of the Arts, run by Justin Hall and Mel. Suddenly I forgot Mel's last name. Mel Gilman. And so Cynta Camilia is here today as our initiate in the CCA grad workshop deliverers. And so talk more about that, I suppose, later. Another course we have coming well on your way with Beth Tremblay. It's 12 weeks of memoir. It starts in February, so there's a lot of time to sign up, but that's a really deep course if you're interested in memoir. That's the diary thing we mentioned. So like I said, we survive on tuitions and donations. Donating for these workshops helps a lot. It helps us keep them free for you, for everybody on Fridays, helps us pay the instructors, and there's a way to do that, and I'll put those becoming a sustaining member in other ways. Oh, that's from last week. That doesn't count anymore, so we'll skip over that. So, okay. So please no inappropriate feature imagery. When it's time to share, we ask to keep it PG-13. Share. We love it when you share any way you share. Use the hashtag Friday Night Comics. You can tag us at Comics Workshop. We'll put Cynta's @ thing in the chat, but it's jelly with a 4 and an underscore, but I'll spell it out proper in the chat. And you can also come to .sawcomics.org to share. Likewise, you can come to see Saw Comics and see what we've been doing every week. We make a PDF of some of the uploads. And if you want to be a part of that, we will put a link in the chat for that. And you go to Seesaw Comics and you look for Friday Night Comics and you see the PDFs that we put together. They've been super fun. Been doing that almost a year now. And here we are. Tonight is Gutters as a character on a page. I'm so excited because I don't know what this means. So I'm very excited for this workshop. I'm going to stop my share.
Yay! All right. I'm assuming I'll start sharing now.
Yeah, and I'll spotlight you too, so you're about to get big. There you go.
Oh, nice. I can see my own face on my own desktop right now. All right, cool.
Welcome.
Let us do this. I'm assuming everyone's seeing the screen they're supposed to?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So, I had to redo this whole keynote from scratch, and this is like the best that I could do within the time frame that I had, because I realized yesterday I was like, oh, it's gone completely. But I'll try my best to like kind of cook what I'm trying to like explain. A little bit of background. It's like I grew up reading a ton of manga, but now I'm like kind of going, I guess, sort of like backwards, where it's like now I'm really interested in like graphic novels, and I'm reading a ton of like Western comics. So it's very interesting going the opposite way versus like the other way. So you probably see a lot of that like in the examples that I'll show. But hi everyone, today we will be talking a little bit about Gutters / Borders as a character on the page, and it will be directed by me. So a little bit of myself. I always give the same little blurb of who I am, and I hope it cracks you up because it cracks me up every time I read it out loud. But so Cynta, they them, is a queer Malaya hard-boiled egg freshly produced from the peninsula island of Malaysia, nestled between the Southeast Asian spirits of the land and carved within the ghastly, gross, gelatinous goop of body horror practical effects. Cynta can also be categorized as a cartoon sound effect on most bad days and a cartoonist on good days. usually between Monday to Friday during the most cursed hours of the night. And I recently graduated from CCA, so now I have a master's, and I got to figure out what to do with that, which I'm very excited about. So,
Welcome.
so a little bit about my work. This is the thesis that I did. I won't really be going too in depth about it because I'm more excited about what I really want to talk about. But here's like the thesis that I did, and I finished at CCA. It's basically like an exaggerated memoir about gender and growing up in like an all girls high school, me being like trans/slash non-binary, and then like all that stuff within like a fantastical lens. The main character basically can turn into a henshin hero, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically like Ultraman, Power Rangers, and they can like shapeshift into anything at any size, at any will. I would call it more of like a romance, like a sort of like a romance, and it's also kind of like a shonen. But yeah, this is it. This is it. I have like physical copies, which is kind of exciting. I think the cover is really cool. So, something else I'm also working on is another comic called Rasabonda. It's basically just like my attempt of like trying to make my own like cartoony version of my own version of a manga. But it's basically if you ever seen the animated movie Monster House. So instead of a house being alive, it's a restaurant being alive. And this one is more about the body horror like stuff that I like to do. It looks pretty clean now, but it gets really gross later. So this is the best slide that I could use. That's kind of PG-13. And then lastly, I'll be talking about like this is a comic that I made for CCA's biannual Electric Squeak. It's pretty cool. Like every year, like they a bunch of cartoonists like submit like comics, and then it's all like done professionally and put on a website. You can try looking it up like CCA like Electric Squeak. And this comic, I finished it for that anthology, and then this year it was like one of the nominees for best sci-fi mini comic by the Cartoonist Co-op Awards, which is very exciting. If you see me vend in real life, I've been saying that like 50 times because I'm really proud about it. But yeah, cool. So let's start. Anatomy of a page. This is like a quick 101 by Dylan, and on his article, I think it was like the perfect way to describe like what a comic is. So we have like the panel, the word balloon, the caption, the gutter, and then the squares are basically the borders. And you're gonna hear me say borders/gutters like 50 million times today, so bear with me. But yeah, like on you can see like on the right side, I have like an example of my comic page that I've done, and I'm highlighting the border, and then the spaces in between the border is the gutter. So let's see. So I was like, I'm gonna use like fancy academia words to describe what I'm like talking about, and if you have any questions, just let me know. This is where my MFA comes in. But basically to me, it's like comics is just more so like conceptually to me, it's just juxtaposition and just collage, like back to back. Every panel that you put next to each other works in like a sequence, and then you get like an emotion, a scene, time, and etc. So yeah, I'll be talking about how like most of the time when people use gutters, it's usually like dormant. But I'm more like interested in how you could make like a gutter and a border become an active participant in a page. So it's not just like a bunch of shapes and a bunch of like design like kind of being dormant in a page, but you'll see what I mean like when I keep going on. But I'm more interested in that, where it's like how do you like play with that, instead of it just being like a part of the design of the page. So here's my first example. I think Osamu Tezuka is like a really good person to like learn from when it comes to like breaking borders and like playing with them. A lot of his work is just, I mean, he's like the god of manga for a reason, right? As you can see on the right side of the page here, we see the character interact with the gutters, breaking them, showing how quick and desperate he needs to answer/pick up the phone. And I feel like this is like such a fun way to show like how desperate he's like running so fast that he's literally breaking through the borders of the page, and it's like comedic. And I find that really fun because if we were to just like edit all this out and he's just like it's a sequence of the character just running, like through the borders slash panels, I don't think it would be as interesting and, you know, as fun as this page per se. So I have a page here from Joey Matt, classic cartoonist. Literally, this is like a good example of it too, where I'm assuming that's his persona is like jumping across borders, almost having like a snakes and ladders moment. And it's really fun because this is also a great way to like kind of play on how like people usually read from like left to right, or if people read from right to left per se. And it's just like going up, going down, the character is like, you know, it goes back up again, and it's really fun because it's almost creating like a spiral composition versus just reading it from left to right, up to down, right? We see the character seen falling, climbing, and jumping around the page. The borders and gutters now act as an object on the page versus just existing as shapes slash symbol. So, let's see. Next one. I love this page. This is such a good page. Composition and reading order by Bill. I'm not going to pronounce the last name because I'm really going to butcher it up, and I'm not going to do that on YouTube. But
it's Sienkiewicz.
Sienkiewicz?
Sienkiewicz.
Sienkiewicz. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Tom. So here with this page, it's like we can see an amazing usage of reading order and composition, kind of like the last one, but used a little bit differently, breaking the left to right rules when it comes to reading Western comics. The composition now adds like a spiral. The blam sound effect exists between each panel, and this moment is slowed down. The character is running between the gutters, which I think this is just really, really fun. The first time I read it, I was reading it kind of like, you know, top left, middle, right. But then I realized it's like because of the lines of the basically the bullets going through it, instead of reading it how I would probably go to like the middle left, I ended up reading on the right left. And I feel like this is like a really fun way to like kind of like, you know, break how people would normally read it, you know? And all the visual keys are there, like it's the brightest colors are red, you know, it's like a circle, and it's doing like everything it needs to do to like slow down this like moment to moment action sequence, which is just like perfect in my opinion. Cool. So borders slash gutters as an object. This is also a fun page by Andreas. Very fun dynamic way to show a car chasing scene. The border of the page acts as a road, but slowly opens up at the end of the panel. Now the car is existing within the gutters of the page, creating the illusion of space, which is just, you know, not to geek out a little, but I think that's really cool. Like, you know, a lot of manga does that too, where it's like if there's like an impact page and then character gets punched, the character will be seen literally getting punched off of the panel. And I feel like that creates like this more of an impact versus like it being kept in the panel. You know, I did thought of like kind of like editing these comics to show what I mean, but I feel like, you know, you guys can like imagine what I'm talking about, where if we like close that panel, it's not going to do the same effect that it is kind of doing now. And that's why I had to put it in my little notes that it's an incredibly big brain moment, because I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. All right, cool. I will now be talking about Kamame Shirahama, aka the GOAT, aka the greatest of all time, right? This is clearly a screenshot from Wikipedia. I'll read just a little blurb just to tell you like why this person is kind of important. But their work is like genuinely, I think is like as equal to like Osamu basically, because it's literally just the same principles being used by like in a modern manga. So Kamame Shirahama is a Japanese freelance manga artist and illustrator. She's best known for her work Witch Hat Elliot series. She has created variant covers and other illustrations for Marvel, DC, and stories in the Star Wars franchise. She did the character designs for The Elder, part of the Star Wars Vision short film released in 2021, and she wrote the 2022 manga adaptation for it. She has won and been nominated for multiple awards, including the Eisner Award, the Harvey Award, the Kodansha Manga Award, the Manga Taisho, Dharma Dior Manga at the Japan Expo Awards, the Manga Award, and the Prix Babalio, I'm assuming. That's a mouthful, and that's a lot. So this is someone that like has always been kind of like on my radar. I kind of like buy her manga just to like study it, you know, to see like how I could use it in my own comics. One of like the first couple of scenes in the first book is literally this character jumping within frame into this new world that they're like, this character doesn't know anything about like is not a witch basically and can't perform magic, and then some way somehow a lot of things happen. They're now they're now into this world of magic and literally jumping to frame, which is a really fun way to make this character feel more alive, right? So I'll be using a ton of examples from their manga to kind of like basically explain the same thing I was talking about 10 minutes ago, but I think it's really used in like a really, really fun way. So borders is windows slash frames slash etc. We can see here like these two pages, beautiful, beautiful ornaments, like ornamented like frames. I think these are not in order, but basically it's like I love how like these panels and these like borders and the gutters are not just existing, but they're like almost like decor. And I feel like it adds a lot to like the fantasy element of this story. I mean, like these two pages by itself, like if you took out the words, it kind of looks like an illustration by itself, which is just amazing. But yeah, we dance through the story within the story. Borders being used as window frames, and then on the right, panel is drawn as a map and inset on a page within the bigger panels, which I thought was like a really, really fun element. I really do enjoy like when artists like kind of brings us out of the page and puts like an object instead, and it acts as a panel or a border. And I always tell my friends, it's like if there's a shape of an object that you could put versus just drawing the object in a panel, that I think is a more interesting way to view the panel than it is by itself. So, which leads into what I was saying, borders as objects. Artists using the frame of the box that exists as a border within the composition of a page. A blank page exists as its own inset panel within the panel of a page. Like, this is just so fun to me. Like, these two pages, the one on the right where the character is, I think if I'm not wrong, trapped in like a box, and they move it in the next page. And instead of drawing just like, maybe like a side view or just like a top view, like the literal box is now existing as its own panel slash border, like in the page, which just like adds to this like, like just, it's just like so interesting the way that this box is now like an active participant in this page versus it just being like a box, because you could just like cut that page in the middle and not include it, and it would have like a totally entirely like different like composition, and to me it's just more visually appealing as well. So, and then on the page on the left, it's like this character is like taking out a piece of paper, and that paper itself is just its own border, its own panel, which is just like fun. It doesn't have words on it, but it will exist as its own because our brain is just kind of like wired to read it that way, which I think is like really cool. And that's why I always tell like people like try your best to like find fun ways to do that, because it's like our brain is equipped to kind of like understand these things without like people literally telling you this is a piece of paper. Like we will just know.
And these are right
Overlapping.
to left, right?
Sorry?
You read these right to left, right?
Yes, these are all read right to left. Yeah, I should have mentioned that since it is like manga. But yeah, right to left. For this one, overlapping borders slash collage, like I mentioned before, like comics to me is just collage and just juxtaposition, and it just exists kind of like sequentially, like next to each other every time. So let's see, collaging the panels with each other, varying the size of each panel to show importance, zooming in and out of the characters. You can kind of see that in the middle page where it's like there's a scene, we're having a couple of moments in between each other, but it like cuts back and forth. We see the pen, we see the teacher, we see the pen again, then zoom in into the main character's like reaction to the teacher using the pen, and then it's another pan out where we see like the teacher like drawing the thing. We see like what she's reacting to. Like I always think that comics and movies are like kind of like brothers basically. So to me, this feels like cinematic. Like if you can imagine movies, just like this shot and then cut to the next shot in video format, cut to the next shot in video format, and then it can goes back and forth, and it works the same way. I usually like to think of my like comics kind of like a movie as well. Though they're two different, time exists differently in both mediums. I do think that you can really play with like how time is working in many different ways more in comics, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion because I love comics. But yeah, cinematic, really fun. Even on the left, you could see like characters like talking about a certain thing, important information about the world building, and then it cuts to this like really beautiful illustration of this character, and then also showing like in a circle where we're reading it, and then there's like this illustration of like war and stuff like that, which I think is like really fun. Like one whole page already telling you like a whole story, and it's I think that works. If you could just like kind of like what's the word summarize everything, and showing instead of just telling.
Yeah.
So, motion, energy, and speed. Manga, I think, does a lot of this really well. And Marvel DC too, like, I do read a lot of that too. Like, I just love when people are using, like, the spaces between the gutters and the borders as, like, impact. Like for example, like characters magic scene going through the border and then jumping out of the other border and like that little break in between, like that's just beautiful. That's like music. Creating this energy, movement, speed lines, and impact. There were other pages that I was trying to find, per se, but I didn't have enough time to do it. But if you ever do read the manga, oh, I should have been like, oh, sorry guys, if you haven't read this, this is like a lot of spoilers, my bad on that. But like, um, basically it's like there's this page where like there's like this kind of like gloom and doom kind of happening, and the way the mangaka did it was that instead of it just showing happening in the real world, you could see like literally the gloom just kind of like on top of the page, and it's like spiraled around the panels and borders. And that to me, it's like, I love horror, and that like it's not necessarily like a horror comic, but to me it was terrifying because it made it seem more real because it's existing outside of the panels, right?
Mm.
So now we'll be talking about like time as an illusion existing outside of borders. This is kind of the same thing as like the last two slides, but it's like, a bit of more about time than it is about collage, but it's sort of the same thing. Multiple scenes can be built slowly interacting with each other. Artists using various sounds, images, collage all together, just put together within the setting of the page. I like how on the right side of the page, the characters are like, they're like, if I'm not wrong, they're where are they? Oh, right. So they're like stuck in this like world, right? And they're reacting to things, but like there's like in the middle panels, there's like a collage of like a tail, like a dragon's tail. And I love that because when you like turn the next couple of pages, like that dragon becomes like the antagonist of this chapter, right? But it's just that little bit where it's like a little bit of foreshadowing before that happens. It's just really fun. And the page on the left as well, I really like how like the character is like kind of taking in this like whole space, and it's all just like juxtaposed with like the ocean, and then like the flora and the fauna, and it's just like it creates like this like whimsy, creates this like kind of warm like introduction to this like character as well as like this space. It almost feels like I'm standing there and I could smell it and I could hear the sounds that this character is like hearing, which I think is beautiful. But yeah. Uh, let's see. Oh, did I go backwards? Oh,
Hmm.
oh, I did. I don't know why I went backwards. Cool. So I feel like your characters feel more alive when they interact within the medium they are placed within, and this is like a perfect image to kind of show that. Um, I've always been thinking about how like there's so much you can do with comics in general that like other mediums you can't do, and since it's both like a visual and text and just the relationship that they have within each other, also the relationship that they have with the characters living on paper in this world, like this is just like something I think about often, and that's why I'm always trying to make my character just break the boxes, borders, and play within the gutters, because it's like kind of more fun that way. Now the character, it's almost like meta, like the character's not just there, but they're also with us, and we're going on this journey with this one character. So Yeah,
So
and
cool.
trademark. Sorry?
Oh, I just said so cool. Yeah.
Right? This is, I know, when I saw this, I was like, yeah, this is like the perfect way to like summarize like what I'm talking about. So examples of this being used in my own comic work so that it's like showing how I'm using all this knowledge to show how I'm using it within all of my comics I'm using it now. So the reason why I'm particularly very invested in this is because I made a comic recently that basically kind of explores that, where a character is literally like, how do I think the idea from this comic was like, how do I write a story where a character literally is in a space where there's nothing, you know? I think backgrounds are really important. They're really hard to draw, and I hate them. I love drawing backgrounds, but like they're terrible. They take forever. But for this comic, I wanted to challenge myself. How do I tell like a story, a narrative where the character is literally in a space where there's nothing? And you can see from the first page, it's like there's barely anything in the pages, but you know, like I'm trying to see like how I could make a character move around that. So one of the pages I played with was like kind of making like a staircase, and the character basically sort of going down it and going down, like to show it going down the spiral. So the character walks around the spaces between the guards of the page, and the borders of the panel is now an active participant by becoming stairs for the character to walk up and down from, and not just it being like gutters within a page. Now it's like a staircase. With this page, the middle panel, the one that says like Sha, is supposed to be like the middle part of like an elevator opening. And I feel like that's a fun way as it's like kind of like wedged in between all these other panels, you know? But yeah, now it's not just like a border, it becomes an elevator, which I think is pretty cool. Here you go. It's like on this page I like drop the borders. I'm letting the character float around the splash of the page. Technically the inside of a clock could also work as a border too if I wanted to, but I didn't use it this time. Kind of adds emphasis towards the main character like kind of losing their mind. Because the character does lose their mind in the comic because they're just like freaking out, like, oh my god, like why am I supposed to stay in this space I don't really want to? But it's like a really fun way where it's like this like illusion of time, you know, me using this like grandfather clock kind of design around it. And instead of the character like being in the clock, I'm just letting the character float around. I also use this a lot in my thesis, Cyan and Cyan Dia. So what I did for this comic, as an example, is that you know my main character was just literally just me, but in a different form. You know, is like a high school kid, and they're like trying to wake up, and they're, oh, I'm so sleepy, I just can't. And I made the character like literally like fall asleep on the border so that it makes it seem like the border is not just a border, but something they can interact with. For this one, the side of the door now acts like an active border because the character, instead of just like it cutting off at their hand, I'm making the character like interact with the door. And now it's like, you know, not really just a border, now it's like a door. And it seems more alive. The world then kind of seems more lived in.
Mhm.
Cool. Exercise prompt. Should I give a little warning? Um, but I hope I'm making sense. I hope I was cooking. Um, I feel like the best way to make to understand something new is to kind of like make comics. So I will be doing like a little demo with you guys while you guys also do the exercise. It'll also be fun to like have other people like go around and showing if they, you know, kind of like understood what I talked about, and you know, I think it's just fun either way. So the exercise that we'll be doing is making a 3 to 4 panel comic, including any of the methods showed in prior slides. So use the relationship between the gutters slash borders of the comic to make things seem more active and alive, juxtaposed together. And then I gave like a couple examples, but just to like summarize it, it's like you could try playing with time existing outside the borders, or playing with motion slash energy slash speed, or you could play with like overlapping a bunch of borders, playing with collage within a page. You could also like make the borders as objects, or like frames, or like decor, or anything that you think of, and I think it'll be kind of fun to do that. And here's the prompt: a personal memory about food, and it can either be good or bad or funny. So yeah, hope you guys will follow me as I draw in the background and show me drawing. Should I like, I don't know if I should leave this open.
I got it mostly in the chat. You can check the chat and see if I summarized it right, but I think I mostly got it.
Okay,
So
so I can just let me just stop sharing and then I will share my
um,
my clip studio instead.
and Chinta, will you do me one favor too while you got a moment?
Mm-hmm.
See if you have a raise hand feature down there. And if you do, click it like I do. And I just clicked mine. And then
Oh, okay. Let's see if I could find my mouse. I'm gonna
we don't have to spend too long to
change.
find it. But
Yeah. Is it in like a chat?
no, it's usually like in your menu of Zoom items like React and share and things like that. It's usually down there. But maybe you could maybe we'll do it
Yeah,
later.
maybe. I think it's because I'm sharing because I don't see you there.
Okay, don't worry about it. We'll deal with it later.
Okay.
Look at that.
I'm assuming everyone can see my little smiley face.
Yes.
Cool. Do people usually play music during this?
Some people do. Uh,
I could play music. I could find YouTube
sure,
friendly music.
sure. That sounds great.
Let's
The
see.
funny thing is that sometimes they um sometimes YouTube cancels it and you have to put in copyright free music to replace it to keep it up. But that's okay.
Oh, okay. Do you want me? No, we could just sit in
No, play
silence.
no, play it. It's
Okay.
fun.
Let's see.
I like to do what the
Uh, I'm assuming this person is free. They're usually on SoundCloud. And let me just put that all the way down so I don't blast music. Can you hear that?
no, not yet. You might have to change your audio settings.
Oh. Okay. That's funny. Let's see.
You know, Zoom has these settings that sort of are designed to turn those things off.
Oh, okay. I see. That makes sense. Advanced sharing options. Nope. Well, if I can't figure it out, it's fine.
What would you? I can try it too. What would you
Yeah, I'm not
like? I
really
can
sure.
SoundCloud. Did you want me to?
Yeah, you could just play music if you want.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, if you want. If you want to, Tom, I'm not forcing you.
Uh, Tell me if you can hear this. I'll play. It's funny. I think this might be good music. But meanwhile, people should be starting, right? So I'm going to.
Yeah,
I put the entire recap in the chat. Um,
perfect.
and I am going to look for something particular. But you have to tell me if you can hear it. Um, do you, do you hear anything?
Mm-mm.
No. All right, here.
No. If not, I'm just gonna blast on my phone.
Okay. Anything change?
Kind of. I think I hear something, but not really.
Still nothing?
Mm-mm.
Anything?
Oh, I
Oh,
do hear that. I do hear that.
you do now?
Yes, perfect.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's this is from Bee and Puppy Cat, my daughter's favorite TV show right now.
Oh, I love being Puppy Cat. That's so cute. This is also a great time that my tablet's not working for some
Oh
reason.
yeah. So we get to see you making. Do you have an idea for your 3 to 4 panel comic?
I kind of do. However, I don't know why my pen is not working because it was working just now, which is unfortunate. Let me see if I can figure that out. Probably it's like something's not open right now. Nope. I'm gonna stop sharing real quick so that I can figure out why the pen's not working. So sorry
Okay.
about that. Yeah. The computer just loves being a little silly sometimes.
Now's a good time to look for that raise hand feature too, if you got a moment. It's usually under React maybe, or maybe under more, but if you can't find it, it's more important to
Okay. Oh, I do see the react. Well, it's just his react. Oh, there it
Hey,
is. Raise hand.
hey, right on.
Perfect. Huh. I'm not sure what the tablet's not working. Interesting. If not, I'll just start drawing on my damn notebook.
We saw it work before.
Yeah, it was working before. Like you saw me draw the smiley face, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. My iPad also died recently, so this is all I got. Uh-uh. Hmm. Let's see. I'm gonna try unplugging it real quick.
All right. Meanwhile, we're all doing our food comment.
Is it not gonna do the thing? Grab a message. Oh, I think I know what's going on, actually. It's not working, unfortunately.
Really?
So, I'm not sure why, because I just played in front of you and it was drawing just fine. I will attempt to draw with my mouse. That's what I'll do, actually.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, this is not gonna be the world's greatest comic ever, but it will be the most fun comic ever done. Let's see.
So you're in Clip Studio Pro using your mouse.
Right now, yes.
Oh,
Usually I'll be using my little drawing pen, but it's choosing to be silly today. And I'm not a mouse artist, so forgive the quality of the drawings. Perfect. We're getting somewhere. This is kind of reminding me of the days when Over Tablets was kind of made, and I was kind of doing this with my mom's laptop.
oh, you're drawing that with your mouse? That looks awesome.
Thank you. I'm trying my best.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm really winging it here. Like I've got, like, I don't know. Never mind. Suffice to say, like when all I really want to do is steal that Tezuka page where he runs through all those borders to answer the phone. Maybe he should run through the borders to eat a burger or something.
I know. Which I think is like still like I do that a lot too. Like when I see a really cool page, I think it's fine if you I wouldn't say like steal, but kind of like learn from what you can and kind of do your
Mhm.
own version, you know? I recently did what was it called? A figure drawing class at Silver Sprocket. Shout out to Silver Sprocket. And
Yeah.
I told this one person that the reason why that I learn so fast as a person who can't really see anything in their head. Like I have that one
Hmm.
thing where like I can't really like see things in my head. So I draw actually a lot of like my favorite artists' stuff like again and again and again. And that's how I learn faster. So it becomes
Yeah.
just like a shorthand, you know?
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Let's no. Wait. You know what? Sure. Let's make the pasta. I gotta change my ID a little bit since I can't really draw right now. So. Uh, nope. Oh, no, my friends are gonna love this actually. Let's make the pasta.
Oh wow. Not gonna be.
This is gonna be
You can keep it secret,
my
right?
okay. Let's see if I could wow everybody with my mouse skills.
Definitely wowing. Neat.
Thank you, Tom.
Like drawing with a bar of soap or something, drawing with a mouse. It's so hard.
That would be something funny to try. Recently, I've been drawing my comics with ink just to prove that I could do it, and it's been really fun and actually really healing. The thing about being a digital artist is that you could undo forever, and then sometimes you don't really get your work done. So
Mhm.
I designed like a new comic to make just so that I could kind of be okay with like being imperfect with my lines, you know.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun so far.
Like spaghetti.
Yeah. This is my mouse spaghetti. There are a lot of artists out there who do like actually render full paintings of mouse, which is incredible to me.
Funny because we can also hear your mouse clicks, so it's pretty cool hearing that. Those
Oh,
little,
really?
yeah, those little
Little
horizontal. Yeah.
And now you be hearing like the glass just like. Sure, I guess this kind of works. Maybe I should try making a comic entirely in mouse. I think that would be a fun project too. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Let's see. I'm gonna draw myself using chopsticks with my pasta because attempting to draw a fork might not be the best thing to do right now with a mouse. All right, I think I'm kind of done.
All
Um,
right.
Maybe we'll give everyone like a couple more minutes, probably.
I I just posted mine on Instagram. Um,
Oh, perfect.
no, I think people could. I bet there's somebody ready to take a look. Oh, yours is great though. I love the.
Thank you.
What a great.
Well,
Take a screenshot of that. I think you've hit on a new style.
I think so. Honestly, I think my comics would be done faster if I drew like this. um, you know what? I actually think this is extremely charming, and I had a lot of fun making it. So I guess it's like my tablet didn't work for some reason, but I had a lot of fun making this. So
Yeah, yeah. You know what I like? It's probably accidental, but I like how there's these three lines coming from your hands there. I guess it's
yeah,
you. And it's like spaghetti, but it's also kind of like action lines or something. I don't know if it's
yeah,
like both at the same time, you know.
yeah. Where it's
It's
just
kind of
like
fun.
a let's make pasta, and then third panel being like I'm eating the pasta, which is delicious. Which is funny because there's no panel of me making sauce, so in this comic it just looks like I'm eating raw pasta.
Raw pasta is awesome. We've all done it.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Should we take a look and see if anybody else is finished and see what they've
Oh
done?
yeah, I would love to see everyone's comic.
So I'll ask you to let's see. Read
So
if
should
you
I
want to.
stop sharing?
Yeah, do that and then raise that Zoom hand again. You're gonna have to raise it again because Zoom does this weird thing where it lowers it accidentally. Yeah,
Like
great.
this?
Yeah. And so if anyone wants to share, go ahead. Otherwise, I'll start to get it started. Oh, we got okay, great. We've got Sarah. I'll start anyway if there's just one, and then I'll show you really fast what I did. Um, got a couple people. So maybe I don't need to share. I don't always like to, but sometimes it's fun. All right, I'll spotlight myself really fast. All right, I won't. I didn't make up a. I didn't have a story. I just made up according to panel. So there I am. It says what to eat, what to eat, and then I tried to make this as a panel, 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 and so he's looking. I don't know if it works. It's like a shelf, but it would work in a revision anyway. And then what to eat, and there's his stomach, and there's his stomach again, and now he's inside it, and then the rumbling, and then he's like coming out of the entrails, and it says, I guess nothing. So I don't know.
No, that's perfect. I love that, Tom. That's amazing. Like you literally everything I was talking about, you use it in every panel.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was fun. I loved it.
All right. I'm going to ask you to raise that Zoom hand one last time. I know I'm really being a pain. But meanwhile,
No,
we'll go
no,
to
it's okay.
Sarah and then Larned and then Jen. Sarah, you're ready if you want to unmute and come on screen. And then we'll go to Larned.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me.
There we go.
I'm not like super. I'm not super involved in comic making. This is my first one I've ever done. But
Awesome.
yeah, basically like it's kind of really personal. But the idea is that like this is a memory here, and this person is like laying in their bed and like turning on the light to when they're thinking about the memory, kind of like the moments of light, and then kind of looking down at this like kind of cavern like hole that was created after the ending of a relationship. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. I like that it's all like in one sequence too. And I'm reading in order like top right and then bottom, which is nice.
Yeah, it's there's kind of a lot of space. I don't really know what to do with all this, but that was kind of what I came up with.
No, it
Awesome,
looks
Sarah.
good. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to Larned next. Sarah, thanks for that. And everyone should share. I'll put it in the chat. Here we go.
Hi, hope
Larned.
you don't mind. Done something a little bit different here. This is a project I'm involved in, but it's perfect for this because it involves gutters and panels and things like that. I don't know if you know who the cartoonist is Steve Willis. He's one of the more famous small press comics people. But he started a jam comic and asked me to participate in it. This is his first panel. And you can see how he uses gutters and panels a little different. So that's what he sent me first. And I know I can't read that. It's backwards, and I don't know if you can read it or not, but it's not that important. I'm just trying to show you the panels and how creative he is.
Yeah, I
Oh,
love that tunnel panel.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. And then this was a panel I did to send him back
Ooh.
for the book.
Oh, at the bottom, I love that. That's an open. Yeah.
Yeah, the pipe coming through.
Yeah.
So then he sent me the next page, which looks like this, and he added a new character that he calls analog, referring to the numbers again. So analog is in this. And again, you can see how he does his panels and so forth. And then this is the one I'm still working on for him. This is what I'm doing. This is still in pencil. I've just kind of got the first part of it done. But the last panel says, I need your help. Don't log off now. And that's the log running off. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. He's a great guy. I enjoy doing it, but I thought that this fit your project just perfect.
No, it did. It did. Like there was so many, literally everything I was talking about. Like you were doing it in like a ton of the pages, ton of the panels. So thank you.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Mhm.
All right, go to Jen next. Here we go.
Okay, I went to a weird place with this one. I think
it's okay.
maybe it was like all the Thanksgiving cooking. You know, it's a lot.
So fair.
So here starts out and it says, cooking often feels like pushing something really heavy up a hill. And then the longer you cook, the heavier the thing gets. And the harder you have to push it with your butt.
That's perfect.
Right? And then I was like, how could I get this feeling of how much it sucks to like be done cooking, but not be done cooking? So then here's like the being smashed by the frying pan. Like by the time you're done cooking, you don't have any energy left to do anything else but shove the food into your face.
That's perfect. I love the face being the bottom panel. Like that's just in the hand. That's perfect.
Yeah. And while you were like doing your pasta lines, then that's like when I was adding the hair on the person.
Oh, perfect. I'm so glad.
Yeah. So
It makes me happy. Thank you.
I don't know. It's something different.
No. I enjoyed it. That was a really fun comic. Thank you.
Cool.
Awesome, Jen. Thanks. We'll go to Andrea next if Andrea is ready. Here we go.
Oh, hi, hello. I'm the one who met you at Zinfest Houston. Hi, let me see.
Oh,
if I
cool.
can switch my camera. Okay. Here we go. I kind of made it it's sort of like a booklet, like when you feel like you're done with artwork and it's like, oh, so good. I did it. It's done. And so just the person like looking at like the little scrapbook and stuff kind of made I wanted to make the scrapbook a little bit kind of off the pages.
Yeah.
Kind of over what would be like, I guess, like that, like the ending lines or the panel lines and stuff. And maybe possibly making this look like a sticker in their scrapbook with like adding tape and stuff.
Oh, that's perfect. I love the open scrapbook being its own little border. Like that's perfect.
Awesome. Thank
A lot to
you.
me real quick because I've wanted to do comics and stuff, but I haven't gotten to finish anything. But I just finished something now. That's why I love workshops, because you just do a little thing real quick. It's great.
Literally, and it's all about just like putting something on a page. So
Awesome.
you.
Totally approve. Thanks, Andrea. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yumi is next. If they can come onto screen and then there we go.
So
Left.
basically, My comic was just about like it's not really food. It was like juice, I guess. So this is my comic and shoot,
Sounds
blurry.
good.
No, not the blur.
Um, do you know how to get rid of the
Yeah, it's
blurriness?
under your video settings. There's usually an arrow near video, and then it will say like choose video settings or something like that.
Oh,
Or choose virtual background, perhaps is the one to just change.
choose.
Or it might also say unblur my background. You want to give it a try and we'll go to the next person, then come right back to you?
Okay.
Okay, we'll go to Victor next.
Hi, I don't know. Hello, I don't know if y'all can hear me. I hope so.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So I have mine in my sketchbook. This was from today relating to food. I went to eat at this chicken sandwich place in my town, and here's me, very excited to eat said sandwich, and that's me eating it. And I got the one a little bit too spicy for me that I definitely could not handle. And I like was coughing and like silently freaking out at my table because like it was so bad. Like it was good, but it was too much. Then this was me
Yeah.
sad afterwards because I was like, I had to order another sandwich just to enjoy it. And I feel
Oh
so bad.
no.
And I don't know, I have like the steam blowing, breaking the borders and stuff. That's blowing my hair back. And
That's perfect. I
yeah,
love the steam coming out. That's
that's
very
all.
Tezuka. Tezuka does that a lot.
I was just trying to practice more, yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you guys. I guess
No,
that's
no, this
my
is
comment.
perfect.
That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Victor.
you.
All right, I'm gonna do a quick search for Yumi again. Oh, there you are. Hey, you got
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I got it. So,
Perfect.
so basically, the girl is like talking to the other girl over there, and then she like chokes on her water, and then I try to do like her like grabbing onto like the border and like trying to like crush it because like she's choking,
Oh.
and then the girl is like, please don't spit on me, and then she like and like the water goes off the page.
Yeah, I love that. I love the water coming out of the page and then gripping the panel. That I love that. That's perfect.
Love that fourth panel, yeah, where she's gripping it. Thanks so much. Okay,
I
we'll go
know,
to
and a 6 panel comic too.
yeah, we'll go to Edgar next. Here we go.
Well, thank you for calling on me, Tom, and thank you for the inspiration. Is it Cynta?
Chinta.
Cynta. Okay, well, thank you. I decided to present my first astral flight. My mother
Ooh.
became interested in Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet, and there you see the circles radiating from one of his eyes. I became interested in the concept of astral flight. Your consciousness leaves your body. Here's Edgar III in 1969 relaxing in bed. A different sensation than a dream happens to me. There's astral Edgar separating from physical Edgar still in bed. I'm astonished to experience my astral body passing through my bedroom ceiling. I fly high above the tree and sidewalk in my front yard. I look down on tiny cars driving at night on Reservoir Road with their beaming headlights until suddenly I return to my body in bed, my eyes open in amazement.
Wow, that was amazing. Damn.
Thank you. Thank you. Any feedback on the I tried to open it up as much as I could.
I like this a lot, and I like that you're like playing with like the composition of the page. It's almost like an S form, like a reverse S.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all starting from the left and then going all the way down and then ending it like that. Like I mean I think it's good. So
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
yeah. Yeah,
Awesome,
thank you,
Edgar.
Edgar.
You bet.
Thanks. And as always, I'm going to ask people to share them elsewhere. Thanks, Edgar. We'll go to Kate next.
I really love these. It's not like and that people are showing stuff that isn't necessarily that good. Like this is really wonky, but it is you're like food. I'm like, for some reason, I don't know if this is a cupcake or what, but I decided to break the panels, break the page, and have this is I got to resolve this into like the body of the cupcake or soda or something. There's all the maraschino cherries that no one ever ate.
Oh no. I love that. And the two lines, like the lines in between, creates like a moment to moment sequence, which I love. So it's not just one scene now, it's like three different scenes together. So
Yeah, the text would have to sort of like stretch it out and make that drama.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Kate. We'll go to Sarah next, and then Chris, and then Gabriel.
Hey, thank you. I did super simple, but you know that when you put too much popcorn in the pot.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It's like bursting out of the pot.
Yeah,
That's
I
neat.
thought that would be a good way to make it try to overlap the other panel. I haven't really tried to do that before, but it seemed like exploding would be a good option.
No, it's perfect actually. And it gives up like the like I was talking about like the energy, the impact of it just going kablam and just exploding. And I love that it's also interacting with the first panel as well. So that this is perfect. Thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
that the lid is kind of a panel border also, and kind of
Yeah, I
not.
was trying to figure out
Exactly.
if the lid could be something up there, but no.
Yeah.
Great job, Sarah. Thanks. We'll go to Chris next, then Gabriel.
Great, thank you, Cynta and Tom. Mine's about cooking a turkey, so I got up at 7 o'clock on yesterday to prepare a turkey. So it says, "Okay, Tom, just you and me now," or something. And then I'm preparing the turkey. And the last few years, I've been smoking turkeys. So my idea was to make one of the panels the smoker, but the smoke is interfering with the panel where I'm trying to prepare for the.
Oh, that's so fun.
So
I love
time
that.
to get in the smoker, and then while I'm waiting, I'm just chopping stuff, and time is passing, and then finally it's done.
I love that. That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much. That was fun.
Yeah, that fifth panel to second panel, Shrek. It's so good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like the snakes and ladders thing that Joe was
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
perfect.
All right, we'll go to Gabriel next. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
So much detail on such a small thing, Chris. That looks awesome. So I don't know if this technically counts as a memory of food. It's more the aftermath of food, but here it is. So this was 5 years ago. I was at a Harvester in, which is this, nice kind of family chain restaurant in England.
Yeah.
And I was just absolutely, so you see me like absolutely full here, like 2 plates, just so full, up here, Harvester 2019. And I get up and I actually feel like all the food inside me just like slosh in the direction that I'm moving. And then I have to sort of lean against the border of the panel and just, catch myself. This is, I've described this as like, this is the most full I have ever felt in my life.
No, this is perfect. I love that you're like kind of leaning into the panel. Like that's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks great. Thanks, Gabriel.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Jackie next.
Keeping with the turkey theme, Thanksgiving 2024, my husband was working double shifts, leaving us with a 5-hour window to eat dinner, 4 of which he was going to spend sleeping. That means that I have to cook the turkey this year. But how to make the most chef's kiss turkey, and I instantly went down the rabbit hole of recipes, and that's me going down the rabbit hole of recipes. And then I realized that it was only going to be one meal. So the only thing I decided to shoot was for edible.
Mm. I love the stop sign in the middle too. Like that's perfect. I love that. And then you interacting with the panels and the fourth panel kind of going up in the second one. I love that. Thank you.
Thanks. This was a cool workshop.
Yay, I'm glad.
Thanks, Jackie. Awesome. Thanks. We'll go to Eli next.
Hi. See, mine turned into like a total tornado, which was kind of the plan. Right around Halloween, my mom always starts cooking for the baking for the holidays, cookies, brownies, pies, pastries, little coffee cake things. And then she would store them out on the back screened-in porch because it was, winter, and so we could freeze stuff out there for free. But after school, she was teaching piano lessons in the other room, and I would go into in there after school and just gnaw on these frozen brownies like a little sugar gremlin. So we wouldn't have quite as many around the holidays because I was eating them all. And now I try to recreate these recipes, but I just can't. Nobody makes them like she makes them. She just probably uses some weird, terrible ingredients that I don't use. But I kind of wanted it to look like what it actually is, just a tornado of sweets that just like is exploding out of the oven into my mouth.
This is perfect. I do love like it just being like this, like just motion, like the spiral.
Yeah.
Like I love that. And the drawings are really good too. I love all the textures that you're using.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna have to go eat some sugar, I think is the end of that story.
So real. So real. Thank you.
Thanks, Eli. Okay, we'll go to Linda. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. This is so fun. And what great stories everybody's telling. So this is a lattice pie that shows what I cooked for Thanksgiving this year. And let's see, we start with grocery shopping and bringing the groceries home along here, and then sorting chickpeas and cooking chickpeas and making bread for the stuffing. What else? I've got this giant list over here of what I did. So anyways, it's all the steps, making cranberry pie, making broccoli, and I'm vegan. So I made my first seitan chickpea roast. So I had to cook the chickpeas and then knead the roast, and it turned out great. It was so good. Cooked squash for the pie. There's the pie shell. And here I have cooked it on a cookie sheet, but that strip of lattice is the cookie sheet. Blending up the stuff for the seitan. There we're making, what are we cooking over here? Oh, making cranberry sauce. So we had to sort more cranberries, make the pie. And then, right. And so here's our actual dinner. Yay, we finally eat dinner. There's the pie. And then this worked out. This is what my kitchen actually looks like. So here's like a massive amount of dishes to wash over here. Here's the stove, and here's still some more dishes to wash. I need to go over to the other side.
Oh wow, this is amazing. I don't know if you know like Chris Ware, but it's giving a little bit of that where this is a really, really fun comic. I loved how much you could like pack into this just whole thing, Like I love all of that. This is perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Chris Ware is a great compliment. Thank you very much.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Linda. We've got Christian next, then we'll go to Aista. Christian, what do you got for us?
Hello. I got this one. This. I called him. You know where you shove a wood. Cut the wood off. What would you call that cutting ability? To
saw something off?
Yeah.
It's a saw, or I think
a saw man.
Yeah. So this person is sawing with their arm.
Yeah.
You got some pan. All right.
Yeah, it's basically a saw man. He has a farmer head. He's made in a farmer, and he's very speedy. I'm trying to move the panels. from the one with Chainsaw Man. I'm trying to do that.
Okay,
Oh,
Chris.
You know, Chainsaw
I
Man
see
has.
what you're trying to do.
You know, Chainsaw Man has
Is that
panels where they go between it. That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to do.
I see it. Yeah. I read
Hell, even
Chainsaw Man,
Jason
so I
K
see what
has
you're trying
that.
to do.
all right, Christian, thanks. And share that in the
Thank
usual
you.
places. Isa is next. We will
Wait, say
ask.
that in what?
Oh no, I said share it. It's in the chat. You can share it on Instagram and places like that.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So I hope you can see this kind of dim in here.
What's
Okay, that's
blurry?
not gonna work. Could I actually send a photo of it into the chat?
You know, I I don't think our chat accepts files for some reason.
Oh, okay,
I
no
don't
worries.
know why that is. And I don't
Unblur my background. That might work better.
that works.
Okay. So, maybe increase the brightness here. Okay, so I have a couple of panels here, and this is me in Ghana in Africa in 2009. And it was the day that President Obama was visiting, and there was like a whole celebration in Accra. And so I like this was like me walking around with some of my friends, and I saw a lamb kebab stand, and I was like, yes, I want to try those kebabs. I've never tried them before. And I was worried I would get like food poisoning or like, sick because I'm not used to like eating street food in a foreign country. So I'm like, oh, it'll be fine. No worries. And then maybe like 10 minutes later, I had like the worst need to go to the bathroom and was running as fast as I could to the nearest bathroom I could find. And the toilet just seemed very heavenly at that point. So yeah, kind of used like the border as like a door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's perfect. I love the little inset panel before that. Like that's a really lovely beat before that happening. So thank
Oh,
you.
thanks.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Okay, we'll go to Sarah next, and then Paula will be our last one.
That was super cool. So this was awesome. And mine is I did a 6 panel, but essentially this is me in 6th grade and it's lunchtime. And I was super excited because in middle school I was able to bring my own lunch. And then this was a really mean boy who made fun of my sandwich having an egg in it and that my mom had packed me milk. And so that's me being really sad. And this is the hero of my story, who is Jenny, who heard this. I don't remember if she was sitting next to me or if she heard it, but she basically is like, excuse me. And she takes my sandwich and my milk and she like eats my sandwich and drinks the milk. And so I have kind of some of the running egg kind of flowing into her mouth in this panel. And then she's basically like, eggs and milk are awesome. And then I have like the yolk kind of splashing onto the mean boy over here and like some milk splashing onto him as well.
Oh my God, I love that. That's perfect. I do like all of the food like splashing all over, which makes it also kind of gross too, in a nice way. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. That was kind of epic, that one. All right, our
mhm.
last one will be Paula.
Yeah, hi. This is me with a spider in my mouth and stuff in my long tongue. Oh, else? That's me dribbling. Somebody playing ball. Hands. Yes.
All right.
I do like a lot of stuff going on. I do like it's like coming into panel and coming out too. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. I'll go back to Chinta. Thank you so much. You know who does this is Tove Jansson, who does the Moomin characters. Do you see the Moomin comic strips where there's always these things that she's interacting with? They're so fun.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. This was great. Thank you so much. I think people's minds were blown. I was watching the chat. I'm like, this is
Yay!
and they were so happy to geek out, they said.
That makes me happy. I'm glad that everyone had fun.
Why don't you tell us one more time what we can what books you've got available or where we should look for your work, if anywhere?
Yeah, so I think the easiest and fastest way to get my books is like if you go to Silver Sprocket, like their website, their shop, you can get like most of my comics there. And then right now I'm trying to order like more copies of like Cyan Dion. And then I'll also like you can also probably get them there. And then if you follow me on Instagram, like you'll see kind of like all my projects and like where you can find my stuff. But yeah. Oh, and I'll be at Cala this year. So if you see me at
Which
Cala,
one's
like
that?
say hi. Comic Arts LA.
All right.
Yeah, it's coming in December 15th, so like you ever
All
see
right.
if you see me there, say hi.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much. And we've got, I'm going to ask everyone to unmute and wish you a thank you. And thanks for coming and thanks for showing us these great. I've never seen
Thank
such
you.
a
This was
great
awesome.
example.
Thank you.
Thank
Hey.
you. This was great.
Love it all.
Really enjoyed it. Thank
Glasses.
you.
All right,
It's
everybody.
so
We'll see you
inspiring.
next
Thank
week.
you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Tom.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Happy
Thank you.
Gratitude Holiday and Indigenous Peoples Day month year.
Thank you.